Om Sri Ganeshaya Namaha. Welcome to another video from Stepping Towards Liberation Group. So today's topic is the biggest help you can do for anyone is what? So it's a good topic. Let's discuss. Suppose there is a person and he want to help somebody. So the biggest help is what? Just to give him a food or whatever his necessity, you have to clear that, right? It depends on what that person needs, right? If a person needs food, if you give food, it will be of biggest help for him at that moment. And suppose a person is struggling to pay off bills, so at that time if you give any cash or amount, that will satisfy his needs. So at that moment and in his situation, the amount what we give helps him, so that is the biggest help for him. Suppose somebody else is in need of any good doctor because he's having a very life-threatening issue, and he is looking for help. Who is the best doctor or something like that, some guidance. So the best help for that person is giving him a good direction and based on your research or available data, suggesting him to go to the best doctor. Okay. So like this, if you compare the situations, we can never conclude that what is the biggest help, because you may think that something else is the biggest help for him, but at that moment in that person's life, whatever you do, it doesn't matter. You think that something else is good for him, but he don't like that. He want to get his things resolved at that moment. So if you help him in that direction, then he will think that you have done the biggest help to him. So there is nothing which we can conclude that which is the biggest help in any case of any person, because if you look at the angle of a person who is in need of any help, the biggest help for that person, if you ask that person, he will tell the biggest help for him is whatever he wants to be satisfied. So we should think in a different angle. Okay, what is the biggest help we can do for anyone? Okay, so I usually read Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam on daily basis. So I'm not sure where, but I cannot point out to exact text. But when I was reading Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavatam book or Bhagavad Gita, I don't remember. So there he mentioned, whatever the help you do for anyone, it is of no use, he didn't tell. But if you help him to come to the spiritual path or towards God, that is the biggest help you can do for the person. So I don't know where I read, because I keep reading. I read every day, so I cannot point to which purport or which text in which book or something. So the details, if you want, you have to read Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam, or you ask some devotees, they can guide you. Okay. So for now, let's discuss that point. I like that when I read that in that book, I felt it is really a big thing, right? But how? That's a question mark, right? A person is in need of food so he's very hungry and he don't have money, or he cannot afford a nice food meal. But how can I help that person in a way Srila Prabhupada is asking us, right? So I was thinking, so then there is a different way of looking at it, right? You can directly go and give him some $4 or $5 or any amount which can satisfy him, and he will walk to any restaurant or anywhere he likes, and he will take the food. He will buy something, and then he will have it, and he will think that you have done the biggest help for him, right? So let's try to see how we can implement whatever Prabhupada said in the purport, right? Mm. So if you think it, you can do in some ways. Okay. Nowadays, in not only in US, in India, or anywhere in the world, I'm not telling 100% of the whole world, but there are many places around us where they give free food or free meals or something as a prasadam. If you want to talk in Hindu terminology, prasadam. Okay, when you go to temple, they will distribute prasadam. Okay. So if you go to any church also, I have seen in some churches also, they will tell that free meal, free lunch available on Saturday or Sunday or Friday. Some days, some churches I have seen Friday also. So there is definitely free food services available around the area where we are living in, right? I think we need to just explore. So it is definitely possible. So what I felt is like, okay, let's look at that angle. Is there any possibility we can make it useful for this, what Prabhupada is telling us? So I thought, yes, there is a possibility. Suppose you see a person who is hungry, and then you just give him a meal immediately. You cannot start teaching him spirituality, eat good prasadam and all those things, because the immediate need for him is he needs his hunger to be suppressed. Then only he will listen to you or me or anyone, right? Let's give him a meal first. Okay, let's take him and give him a lunch or whatever it is you feel like offering him. You take it and you take him, and then you finish. You just make sure that his hunger is immediately addressed. Okay, after that, if you really want to do a good service to that person, just just based on the person's, I don't know whether he is a Hindu or Muslim or whatever, Christian, it doesn't matter. Like, just ask him, like, based on the background. Suppose I assume that he is Indian. Okay. Why I'm telling is like, just for an example, or a Christian. Okay. Just see, tell if it is a Hindu, tell that, do you know what? There is some nearby one temple is there. Whenever you go there, you can get a food. You know that? Just you should make him think. So we can just a little bit of information we can give, saying that, say there is a temple. Whenever you go, you can get a good lunch there or a good meal, or whenever. But they have a particular timings. You should go in that timing. That's okay. But why do you want to be like this? So there is a possibility, right? Why don't you go and give a try there, so that you don't need to ask anyone like me or outside. The same today you're okay. Maybe after a week again you end up with a similar situation. You have to again find somebody like me, right? So instead, why don't you go and give a try in that temple, just to go and see what's going on, and then have whatever they offer, and then take it and come. That's all. So And if he or she is a Christian, just tell him the same thing, like, see, there is a church in some street where they offer every Friday or every Saturday there is a free lunch given. Why don't you go and try there? Uh, just you'll get a good satisfied meal at least weekly once or twice, right? I don't know. Maybe you can explore a little bit more. Some places definitely there is a meal or food mm, provided. So just why don't you explore that like that? So sorry. Assume that the person who is a Hindu or a Christian, he really thinks that there is a real value in what you are telling, and it will help him in the long run. He will go and give a try. Okay. Let's hope and wish, because we want that, right? So we want that, and our wish is good. So let's see, like, whether he will make it or not. We don't know. But our job is done when we tell him that information, like, this is available and you can try. Suppose if that person really feel that, okay, why should I depend on these people every now and then? Let me do something, like whatever he said. No, he has given me direction, right? Let me go and try, and then he will start coming to the temple or church. And first, initially, he will go and his main focus will be on the food, right? So what they are giving, and like that, he will focus more on that. And probably if he likes the food or whatever they offer, and definitely it's a peaceful environment, right, compared to outside cafeteria, sorry, outside restaurant or something. It is definitely a different experience to him. So maybe if he likes that environment, and somehow if he likes the food or prasadam, he might keep coming. He might keep coming, and he will get used to going to the temple whenever he's hungry initially. After that, maybe he will get to know some people there, or he will interact with somebody, and they may give more inputs, and in some way or the other he got a step to move forward. Okay. So the prasadam is very key for anyone. Okay, because the prasadam, or the food which is offered to the Lord, it has so much of power in that. Okay, that power is automatically, it will drive the soul, but how fast it drives or how fast it will help, it depends on the consciousness of the person, and how he will take it, and how it's so many factors involved in that. We don't want to detail, because we cannot judge anything on anybody in any way. Okay, because it's not a small thing, like it's just 5 years, 10 years data available. Based on that, you can decide on anybody. It's a infinity. This life and death is going on from infinity circle. Sorry, infinity, time immemorial, they'll call. Okay. So we don't know when that person's journey started, and what is going on in the future, we don't know. But at least for our satisfaction, we directed him to go to the temple or church to serve his hunger, and indirectly we started helping him to grow spiritually. In case if he likes it, and if his inclination is good, he will catch up very fast, or whatever it is, our responsibility is done. Okay. So in this way, you can help anybody to go in a spiritual path. Suppose it's not necessarily the food. This is the one of the case I'm telling you. Think, if somebody asks you something, just don't help them just for their immediate need, and then leave them. Try to see if there is a possibility that we can bring them to spirituality. Just give a whatever you feel like it is a better option at that time for that person. Just try to give, and then leave it. So it's a good thing. Like we don't know, like if somebody may need money, right? Or they are not able to pay bills or something. If he is in a very difficult situation, just to help him whatever you can, and also tell him like, why do you struggle like this? Do you know? Is there any way? In, can you do you think that why it's happening for you only? Why not for the others? Okay, so there's something, right? Are you interested? Let's go to the temple, or let's go and just spend some time. If he's really interested, I'm telling. It's not that everybody will come to you, walk with you to the temple. Okay, it's not easy. Okay, if you ask the same person to come to a movie, he will definitely come. Maybe possibility is there. But if you ask him that let's have a chat for a few minutes about God or something, why it's happening like that. So nobody. It is very difficult for a person, for you to find a person who will tell, okay, let's discuss about why it is happening like that. So give a try. It's this is a different. This is a different. What you call Kali Yugam. Kali Yugam means it's not that everybody is interested in this path. They want their needs to be satisfied, and then they want to be happy, and then they look for the same thing again and again. Okay, so they never look at the way we are somebody who is in spiritual path looking at it. Okay, because they don't know the depth of, they don't know, they may be ignorant of this knowledge. Okay, so one thing is like I would like to add in the same guidelines is there is a, okay, let me take it as a different topic. Okay, just we'll conclude it for now. So whatever possible, you can try to help anybody to come to the spiritual path. Okay, just give them some book, whatever it is handy, or just give them your contact number and tell them to contact you later, because there is a possibility sometimes, like you cannot explain him, or you cannot talk to him because he's very busy and he wanted to go. Just give a contact number or something, keep in touch, and if that person really needs help again, he will contact you, right? So that time when there is a possibility that you can help him in some way, you try, but don't just see all the possibilities when somebody asks you help. Okay, and that way it helps. Hari Om.